What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Tempe DC podcast. It's Coach Gino back with Mark. Mark, give him a shout.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
We out here again. It is October 18th. It's a Wednesday today, changing it up a little bit on the schedule. Coming back to you with another update for the 10th Planet Daily City Gym and the mats. A few things to look forward to. Again, for those of you who've been doing the yoga program, we've got an addition to our yoga schedule. We got mat Pilates already starting over at the gym. So check out a class. We got a new schedule on the yoga program as well. Classes a little earlier, and we added a few more to the schedule as well. So check that out on the website. For the 10th Planet Daily City upstairs in the gym, you're going to notice that we've moved around some of the workout equipment now, and we've opened up the locker rooms now. So the locker rooms are now open, available for you guys to use. Ask the coaches if you need to know where they're at. And again, feel free to use those to change, to get your stuff settled in, put your stuff down, whatever you need to. New locker rooms. We're still in renovating the women's side, but the men's is pretty much squared away with the exception of a few mirrors we got to put up. And that's going to be located on the other side of the gym where the new potential mats will be. So right now, again, you're going to be taking the walk over to the other side of the gym. In the far side, you'll see the locker rooms there, and you guys can use that space accordingly. This weekend, we've got Logan Diaz returning to action in a Muay Thai bouts. We are not going to have any Muay Thai classes. We also have one of our PKB fighters, Demetrius, is going to step up and compete as well. So we're going to be closed for Muay Thai. We're going to have open mat still from 10 to 12, but then no Muay Thai class at noon on Saturday, the 21st of October, okay? A lot of people have been ramping up the training for Jiu Jitsu as well, because we got 3 weeks until the Sacramento Open IBJJF tournament and about 7 weeks till No-Gi Worlds over in Vegas. So we got a lot of time for the Worlds, and then we only got a short time for the Sacramento Open. And these next few weeks are very important for everyone. Make sure you guys are training accordingly. And for those of you who have not really spoken to me or any of the coaches, or just don't know how it is when you're talking about training camps. Training camps are very important when you're scheduling them. It's very important that you guys put the time in to do the training, for one, and also organize the training accordingly and making sure that it's done in the right fashion. You don't need to be training at full intensity when it's the week of the fight. You don't need to be trying to chill out just because the event is 3 weeks ahead. That's actually when you should be ramping up your training. You know, the way I was taught growing up, when I was coming up and training and learning the fight game and learning how to do camps, you know, most of the most intense training would be done 3 to 4 weeks away from the event. And the reason being is so that your body is able to recover from those hard training sessions, and that you're able to improve your physicality and have time for it to recover so that you can peak and perform well on game day. You know, you don't need to be training at full intensity when your event's only a couple of days out. That's actually going to put wear and tear on your body and make you to perform at a level when it's going to be, or where it's going to be very, very fatigued. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to pick up your energy levels if you've been putting too much hard work too close to your event. So, you know, you got to give it enough time so that when you are training in those long duration, heavy, intense workouts, that you do those weeks out, at least 3 to 4 weeks out, maybe the fourth and third week. If you're talking about an 8-week camp, you know, we're talking about the third and fourth week away from the event. Those are the hardest training sessions you're going to be doing. On weeks, 8, 7, and 6, you're still training good level. You're training and making sure you're maintaining a good routine. You know, you're getting a lot of the work in. Your training is still intense, but not maxed out in a sense. Also, in that 4 or 3 weeks out, that's when typically if you're cutting, that you're also going to be at a calorie deficit. So that's going to be why the training sometimes is magnified and more difficult, because you're low on calories. That could happen as well too. As you get closer to the event, you got to taper it down a little bit. You know, you got to let your body recover. You got to make sure your body peaks, and you make sure that you're performing at a level that you feel comfortable, that you can move well, and that you can execute your techniques right. So again, make sure you guys are scheduling your training camps accordingly. If you have questions about that, ask me or any of the coaches. I think we've all been there and experienced bad training camps and good training camps, and having gone through that experience, we'll be happy to share with you our experience and what to do in those scenarios. So I already had a few folks already speak to me about that, but I just wanted to reiterate that on the podcast for those of you who are listening, who are going to compete soon, and you're curious about competing, whether it be Muay Thai, whether it be Jiu Jitsu, MMA, boxing, or whatever the case may be, any kind of combat sport, you got to make sure your camp is done correctly, and that's huge. The training has got to be harder than the fight so that the fight can be easy, and those are very, very important things to keep in mind when you guys are looking at competing and trying to make sure that you compete well. No one wants to go in there and feel disappointed. You want to go in there and be able to push yourself to the max and make sure that you're able to continue and do well in the match, even when you are fatigued, even when you are feeling like the stacks are against you and you don't know exactly how the event or the exchange or the match is going to go down. There's so many variables with it. What you can control, though, is your camp, making sure that you did everything, you did the work in, you put the time in, and then you did your job. So that's a little of what I want to speak on before we move on. Mark, you got anything for the gym or any updates for the competitors?
For the folks that are doing both the SAC Open and Nogi Worlds, which is 3.5 weeks.
Yes, they overlap.
After, how would you plan the week after the Sacramento Open? Would you rest or would you jump right back into some hard training?
So we look at it with the overlapping issue, right? So we got 3 weeks till the Sacramento Open, 7 weeks from the Nogi Worlds, right? So by the time we're in fight week for the Sacramento Open, we're typically going to be in our 4th week out from, or we should be around 4 weeks out from Nogi Worlds, right? So in that week, in the idea that you have another event afterwards, then from that standpoint, you're not able to rest so much during fight week. You still can adjust your training, taper it down a little bit, and be smart. You don't want to overtrain that week, but you still got to move around a little bit. Make sure you're doing your technical drills, making sure that you're staying in shape. And the unfortunate thing is, after your competition, you got to still stay disciplined. A lot of people after competitions, they take a week off, or they hang out, they get heavy, they eat a lot and everything. Unfortunately, this time, if you're doing both, then you're gonna have to be disciplined right after, right? And there's no time to slack off after, because that's the height of your week. So again, you also got to consider which tournaments are more important, right? Nogi Worlds is a huge tournament. It's the biggest tournament of the year for the IBJJF Nogi side. Sacramento Open is a local tournament, so you're not weighing and you're not so invested in that tournament as you are in Worlds, because Worlds we're traveling and we're doing all these things to make it to Worlds. So again, emphasize the competition that's more important, and also remember that, hey, if you compete and they overlap and things happen, your camp may have to have some adjustments. And there's no perfect camp. There's no way you can just again do everything perfectly. There's going to be hiccups, there's going to be injuries, there's going to be problems, scheduling issues, whatever the case may be. You just got to do your best. Make sure you trained as hard as you could. Make sure you did whatever you could to put the work in, and that confidence going into your camp, knowing that you put all the work in, is going to pay dividends later for you. I promise you guys that. So that's all for me today on the gym stuff. I do want to dive into some combat sports announcements, because we got plenty since I last talked to you guys. Start off with some of the quick ones. Boxing. Showtime Boxing announced that they are closing down their show sports, meaning boxing is left now with a new opportunity for someone else to step up and take over as the top boxing promotion. Now, Showtime and HBO were the number one boxing promotions growing up. Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, all these guys brought those events to new heights, right? But now that Showtime's stepping down, we're kind of left with a variable of who's left to take over boxing. Boxing is far from dead, but we need someone to step up and promote this sport correctly. Whether it be DAZN, whether it be Top Rank, whoever the case may be, we are left without anyone right now currently to hold the mantle down in 2023. So on top of that, we talk about what we don't want to see in boxing. If you guys checked out the Triller fights or whatever it was, the Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis fight, KSI, Tommy Fury. That is something that we tried in boxing. We are not too happy about. I'm sure the fans and the people who were involved in that weren't too happy with that event. It was kind of a sloppy show, kind of chaotic, and in my opinion, it wasn't a good showcase of what boxing needs to be. And again, it's entertainment at one point, but at the other side, you want to see the art. You want to see the sweet science of boxing. You want to see the mastery, the craft, and we did not get to see that with that fight this week. It was just all over the place. I didn't. It's one of those fights that you're happy if you didn't buy. If you didn't buy it, I'm lucky I didn't buy it. I saw the highlights, and I'm very disappointed with the fact that they put on such a sloppy show. And boxing again does not need that. Boxing needs some really class A fighters. We talk about Terrence Crawford, we talk about Bivol, we talk about Canelo, and even Canelo, his fight with Charlo was very underwhelming. And these are things that boxing is having to struggle with. How are we going to continue to keep the sport strong if we still have these hiccups, we still have these events that are not delivering, right? And the fact that there are so few big events that people want to see, not as many superstars in boxing, that also causes a problem too, because promotions don't typically have in my opinion, they haven't done too good of a job with the marketing side of the boxing and the fighters. So we'll see how boxing turns out. If down the line we end up seeing Triller Sports taking over, who knows? It's an opportunity for them since Showtime is gone. I really would hope HBO Boxing came back, but that is a far-fetched wish, and we'll see what happens with that. Mark, you found any announcements or anything curious online?
No, all good on the boxing side.
You saw those. You didn't see them either, right? The Triller fights.
I saw the highlights.
Saw Dylan Dennis try to come in and do MNR roll, whatever it was at the end. So that that jiu-jitsu side will transition us into this weekend's quick announcement on ADCC trials, the East Coast trials. ADCC is coming back. When is it? Next year, right? Mark, ADCC's back is next year. East Coast trials just finished this weekend. We had a lot of big hitters go out for that event, and then the West Coast trials should be sometime in next year, right? So what's the date on the next ADCC, Mark?
Let me look that up.
ADCC, if you guys are familiar, the Abu Dhabi Combat Club, right? Abu Dhabi Combat Club. I don't even know if that's the right acronym, but that is the event that is the heights, or one of the highest level no-gi jiu-jitsu or no-gi grappling events ever. I look at ABCC, but ADCC only comes around every other year. And again, typically these trials, in the North American trials specifically, have found some really good competitors, and we've been able to see a lot of superstars come out of these trials. It's been really something else to see. What else we got, Mark?
Looks like ADCC 2024 will be at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, August 15 through 18.
Vegas, very nice. Okay, maybe another trip to Vegas next year. We'll see. But trials, again, we saw some big hitters come out there. We got a lot of new guys winning their divisions. And then, this was a great one of the craziest was Dorian Oliveras, right? Blue belt won his division. Man, it's crazy. Like ADCC don't matter what belt you are. If you got the skills, you got the skills,
He won the CJJ too, right?
That's right. He did win CJA. Eddie Bravo always finding the stars for these events, and we're going to see these guys take it to the next level. So they're all the winners. Congrats to the winners of the ADCC trials. We'll see you guys out there in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena and shutting it down.
Also, the women's champion for the 55 kilos, Alex Enriquez, she won the Medusa a couple months back.
Exactly. Eddie finds the superstars. I'm telling you, the superstars come out for Eddie Bravo's tournaments, Combat Jiu-Jitsu and EBI. That's where we see a lot of these big hitters in submission only, or not only submission only, in no-gi grappling. That's where a lot of these guys are killing it. So I'm excited to see the competitors there. West Coast Trials. Can you find the date for the West Coast Trials, Mark? West Coast Trials, we should see them out here, and there should be a big group out for that. West Coast Trials is also a huge event. We got the trials in North America, the West and East Coast. We've got them in Brazil. We got them in Asia. And, all these superstars, once they come together, the ADCC has become a big show. And, I think last year's event just showed how big the grappling side has grown. And the entertainment side the ADCC brings is huge. So we're going to see a lot of big celebrities and big jiu-jitsu players out there continuing to really get down and get to having a real good tournament this year, because man, at the end of the day, so many tournaments you can say are the number ones. We got Nogi Worlds, you got ADCC, you got EBI and everything. But these rule sets offer a different variable. ADCC not having no scoring in the first few minutes of the match, and then very wrestling heavy and allowing slams. There's a few different variables that really bring it to another level of excitement. So I'm excited to see how the ADCC is going to be in 2024. Any word on the West Coast trials, Mark?
Can't find anything right now.
Maybe they haven't an announcement yet. Maybe there's no announcement. They probably when they do announcement, we're gonna get a bunch of news, so it should be easy to find. But moving on. Past that, we got ONE FC. Reflection on the few of the ONE FC cards. Congrats, Stat Fairtex, for becoming the triple champ, official undisputed triple champ, as Angelia announced her retirement from the sport. That was a few weeks ago when I did the last podcast. Wasn't able to speak on it. Another main event we saw was Tawan Chai and Superbond. Actually, that got pushed to December. Tawan Chai stepped in and fought Joe Nadawat, ended up winning the hard decision against Joe Nadawat. That was a good fight. The ONE FC card, there was plenty of ones that were really surprising. I think Asa Tenpao, that arm break he had and then still knocked out his opponent. That was amazing. Edward Foyang knocks out Amir Khan. That was a great knockout. He was losing the fight, I thought, then knocked him out in, I think, the 4th round. And what else did we have? We had Mikey Musumeci, right? Mikey went up against Shinya Aoki.
Yeah.
And Aoki locked him. That was wild, too. So I think these are all mixed up events. I'm probably mixing the events up a little bit. But, plenty of entertaining matches. They even had a weird boxing rules match with Nat Wonder Girl. And I forgot what the other girl's name is, the little Chinese girl.
Yeah, the Panda.
Yeah, Panda. But that was weird rules where they had spinning back fist allowed and hammer fist, but it was no elbows and no kicks. So they're having these different rule sets for ONE FC, which is great. Kickboxing, MMA, Muay Thai, hand strike fighting. I don't know what you call that. It's not boxing, but a lot of different opportunities for martial artists to get wins. And it was really cool to see. What else fights did I miss, Mark?
We had the Danielle Kelly, Jessica Khan.
Oh, yeah. Danielle Kelly was able to dominate in that fight. I think Jessica Khan wasn't ready to grapple in the cage. That was huge. Congrats to Danielle Kelly.
Then we had the Smila Sindel against
Alicia Rodriguez. That was a banger fight. Alicia Rodriguez was throwing elbows out the gate. Big height difference, big challenge, but Smila was able to weather the storm that Alicia brought on early on and got the victory. So a big shout out to Smila Sindel, Fairtex fighter again. Fairtex fighters killing it again. Pataya's pumping them out. All these ONE FC fighters are really getting good opportunities to really shine. And I think it's huge, the fact that ONE FC is bringing Muay Thai to this level, because Muay Thai is I think I heard someone else say it before, but we're entering a different era of Muay Thai. The golden era was the 90s, but this may be even surpassing the golden era with the amount of money these guys are making and the fact that they're becoming household names, depending on, again, who's watching. But there's a lot of folks out there who is rising. What else we got, Mark? Any of the last other fights I missed?
There was the John Lineker fight.
That one's all right.
He won by decision. That was all right.
That was a cool fight. But I didn't get to watch that too closely. I remember it was a Filipino guy he fought.
Yeah, but Smila, she just looked insane.
And I see the thing. Real quick, point the thing. Let me see. Take a look. Because there was another fight I know I'm missing that was really good. Probably was on a different card. What was the card with Mikey? Mikey, was that the Tawan Chai? Mikey, Shinya, the Aoki lock on Shinya was amazing. That was a really, really interesting finish, and the passing of the torch. Shinya Aoki with one of the most legendary submission grappling resumes of all time against Mikey Musumeci. That was a huge one for him. So that one was really cool to see, but unfortunate to see Shinya losing. Oh, the Tan Lee. That's what it is. Tan Lee fight. You see he got that leg lock on Ilya. I don't know who this Russian guy is. Ilya Fremanov. But Tan Lee was able, that 50-50 Ryan Hall game, that main event. Watch that one. I think it was the main event of the Tawan Chi fight, actually. He ended up getting a heel hook in that one. Mark, you got to watch that back if you haven't, but that heel hook was nice. So ONE FC, again, putting off great shows, great entertainment, great martial arts. Got to love it. And moving on past that, real quick on the Bellator side of things, we saw that Bellator card happen a few weeks ago. Main card was two 10th Planet Warriors, Ali Malay McFarlane and it was Liz Carmouche, both 10th pound black belts, both teammates, both very, very close teammates from San Diego, and ended up throwing down together. Liz winning by TKO. I think Lima hurt her knee, and that's amazing to see. Even though with these two girls who obviously very close teammates, cornered each other, were training partners for many years, they went up and they were able to fight each other and put on a show and put it out there. Hate to see 10 on 10 crime, but you know, at the end of the day, these two are respectable warriors. They were able to hash it out and figure out their situation and still remain very close friends, and you gotta love to see that. I'm not a big follower on the Bellator side of things, but again, it is something that I gotta love to see two high class 10P competitors going at it, and it looks like Bellator is gonna have another event. Looks like coming up in Bellator 301. I think we have our own the Scrap Pack Queen, Carrie Melendez is gonna be fighting on that. And it's going to be a few more events for Bellator. I don't know what the deal is with the PFL announcement, if they're officially buying them or what's the deal with that. But Bellator may be on the way out. Honestly, in my opinion, Bellator has been slipping from the number 2 spot. I think ONE FC is definitely number 2 compared to the MMA scene. I mean, I would go UFC 1, UFC and then 1, and then Bellator and then PFL. Honestly, there's not too much to watch on the PFL side of things. So, I mean, moving on past the ONE FC cards and the Bellator stuff, we got a big fight coming up this weekend, a huge fight. And I know we were talking about, we were going to do a breakdown again about Oliveira and Islam, which was supposed to be the scheduled fight for the lightweight bout on Saturday, but the script has been flipped. You know, we got Alexander Volkanovski coming in 10 days notice to fight Islam Makhachev in a highly, highly anticipated rematch, and it's just amazing to see Volk is such a game fighter to come in on 10 days notice to fight Islam and just go for it. It's amazing. Oliveira got cut or something happened, he got injured, and Volk just stepped in, and we're gonna see. This is crazy to see now. I would have loved that Volk took a full camp for this, and I think if it was a full camp, I would lean closer toward Volk, but I think even then I would still lean toward Islam. The reason being, with this matchup, we got the mastermind Khabib Nurmagomedov in Islam's corner. I think he's going to be too smart to allow Islam to fight the same way he did against Volkan the first time. We're going to make the adjustments. Islam is a great coachable fighter. He's very, very in tune with his team. He knows what he needs to do to win, and he's a warrior out there. So I think he's going to do his job. He's going to stay disciplined a little bit more and try to work on winning better exchanges. Volkanovski, again, you never know though. Volkanovski is a gambit anytime. He can always find a way to win. I mean, he'll survive tough situations, and it's a very difficult time for anyone to fight Alexander Volkanovski. But I'm picking Islam for this fight. My gut tells me that he's going to make the adjustment. I think it's going to be a good fight though. Mark, any thoughts on the main card for the UFC this weekend?
I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely going to be rooting for Volk. Don't bet off of me because I'm always wrong, but my heart roots for Volk.
I think
for sure.
I think everyone's heart's got to be with Volk. That if Volk did win, no one will be mad because it's just a heart wrenching. It's a very, very great idea that the little guy steps up to fight the big guy and gets the win. You know, Volk coming from the 45 division, moving up to 55s and fighting Islam in this format is going to be huge. You know, we got to make sure Volkanovski gets his respect, gets his flowers, man. You got to give the man respect. Stepping in here for that, no matter, even if he loses, he's still a winner in everyone's eyes because he's epitome of a true warrior, a true soldier, and he's going to go out there and put on a show for us, I'm sure. It's not going to be a boring fight. I guarantee you that. Now, lastly, co-main event of the night for the UFC event. What UFC number is it, Mark? UFC 294 or close to 300. We're getting close to 300, folks. 294 co-main event. This one no one saw coming, but Khamzat Chimaev's opponent Paulo Costa drops out due to a nasty staph infection. Please, people, shower after training, okay? Clean up as soon as you're possible. Like, clean all your wounds, all that stuff. That's a very gnarly staph infection. If you guys look it up, you will be grossed out. And it's another incentive. Maybe you should look it up so you can see the importance of cleaning up after and taking care of your skin. But Costa drops out, staph infection, very dangerous. And then the former welterweight champion decides to step in at last minute, fighting at a 185 division, like a weight class significantly higher, 15 pounds over, and takes one of the dark horses of the division. Not even a dark horse, one of the killers of the division, the guy who has been on a terror He's just been on a rampage for his career, and Khamzat Chimaev is no one. It's no joke. No one should take him lightly. No one should think that this is an easy fight. Kamaru Usman, though, what a savage! The fact that he stepped in and decided to do this. I'm still gonna pick Khamzat because I think the size is gonna be too much. I think Kamaru's health is a questionable. His knees, and I think Khamzat is gonna be just too big for him. But all respect to Kamaru. Would be great to see him get a victory and come back and have a new revival and reinvent himself at 185. But I have very, very limited beliefs in that because of the fact that Kamaru's been around for a while. He's had his injuries, he's had his wars, and comes out as young, hungry, and is still looking to climb that ladder and get that gold. And a hungry fighter is very difficult for anyone. Kamaru, again, bless him. He's a soldier. He's a great guy stepping in to save this fight. But I'm super concerned for the man. I pray that he comes out safe and he doesn't get any severe injuries because Khamzat is someone who you just cannot take lightly. What do you think on that last co-main event, Mark, for the UFC?
100% with you. Same thoughts. Would love to see Kamaru just upset the world. That would be incredible.
Stresses me out thinking that this man's taking this fight. And again, grown man, he can do what he wants, but it's something that all of us, no one could ignore, that Khamzat Chimaev is a mother effer. You do not want to get in a cage with that man. That is the last guy you want to see across the cage from you if you are trying to get into the UFC or trying to climb your ranks in whatever the case. That man is a terror. So a lot of things for you guys today to think about. Again, we'll be updating you guys soon with some more stuff around the gym and some more combat news. So again, we'll touch base once the fights are over this weekend, and we're going to see you guys on the next episode. Appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. Check out your newsletters again for announcements, and we will get back to you with the new things coming up. Also, one more thing. We have no TACFIT seminar this weekend. We did have that originally planned, but we had to cancel that, and Coach Brandon had to move the date, but we will get the announcement out for you guys soon. So no TACFIT seminar. Other seminars coming up soon. We'll give you the details soon. But again, thank you guys for listening. I'll talk to you guys soon. Mark, any last words before I close out today?
Thanks for listening, everyone. Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys. Train hard. Stay consistent. See you guys later.